Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of Ruby Research. Today's episode is sponsored by sonochemistry. Did you know that sound can actually power chemistry and make chemical reactions happen? A research team headed by Leslie Yeo at the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology on November 23rd posted a paper in which they studied the effects of ultra-high frequency sound on various materials. The results of this paper are astounding. Using extremely high frequency sound waves, researchers have discovered new ways to create nanomaterials and deliver drugs straight to the lungs without a vaccine. Now, typically in science and medicine, we use waves of ultrasound, which occur at around 3 megahertz or 3 million cycles per second. For reference, human hearing ranges between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz. However, this process can induce what's called cavitation, which are microscopic bubbles that implode at extreme heat and pressure, actually about twice the temperature of the sun, around 20,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, this is commonly used for mixing, emulsifying, getting two things to stir together that probably wouldn't if they were left alone. Ultrasound is very useful, but it's kind of a chaotic process. Increasing the frequency of these sound waves by anywhere from 3 to 1,000 times actually begins to have a very strange effect on the substrates or the chemicals that it interacts with. When you crank up the frequency of these sound waves, they begin to actually have an organizing effect on the materials they interact with. Dr. Yeo puts it this way. Imagine driving a semi-truck through a field of Legos and leaving a perfect pile of stacked Legos behind the truck. So this type of sound wave somehow manages to organize all of these molecules in a very specific way, which is useful in a couple of different ways. First, this can be used to deliver drugs straight to the lungs. And using these ultra-high frequency sound waves, we can turn drugs into a fine mist that can be breathed in and delivered straight into your lungs. Second, if we bombard cells with these ultra-high frequency sound waves, we can cause them to resonate in a way where we can insert biomolecules directly into those cells. And third, we can use these ultra-high frequency sounds to create what are called metal organic frameworks. Now, these guys are used to capture very specific small amounts of things in the body, as well as for batteries, which is a big deal today with electric cars and everything that are storming the market. Now, typically these metal organic frameworks, or MOFs, require a lot of nasty chemicals and things to make, but this process of ultra high frequency sound gets rid of all of those and makes them much cleaner and cheaper to produce. So this is really just the start of a field that could take us to great advances in both the medical field and in the industrial field. If you're curious and want to see more about this, the links are posted down below in the description, and all of my sources will be cited there as well. So that concludes our inaugural episode of Ruby Research. Thanks for tuning in.